Mr. Transformers 96 here with another video where I'm going to be reviewing a new Transformers Studio Series figure. This time this is the Voyager Starscream. So this is a figure that I definitely wanted to get. I think out of all of the redone Decepticons, from the first movie, this was the one I was least looking forward to, just because we have had so many Starscreams in the past, and there's been some really good ones. However, there has been a lack of a good Voyager class Starscream, and this is of course in a Voyager class, so I was quite excited to get it. Before we get into the actual figure here, going over the packaging, it does look nice. Has some cool artwork, almost cartoony-ish artwork of Starscream. You do get the background peach, which can be removed and put into like a little display, and that's the kind of sequence in the first movie, kind of the city that's being burned down or that's being under fire, and you have the jets flying by to which fits Starscream's look, of course. And as you can see, figure on the back. Do like the new style of packaging. I love the fact that you get the little insert pieces to give it a little display. I think that's very nice. Going over the actual jet here, it looks great. I really do like it. Color-wise, it's very interesting. This is, of course, Starscream from movie 1, and therefore he's going to be lacking that the tattoo look. However, he does have that kind of creamy white, highlighted with some actual white, and then gray pieces with a bit of like a brush blue in some areas, almost like a sprayed blue, which is interesting. It's very cool. Sometimes it doesn't meld well, like because it's very blue here, and then it just goes right into the plain gray. Would have been nice if that melded in a little bit better, considering from the sides and everything, it melds in quite nicely. I do like the Decepticon symbol right there, and the other logo right there. The cockpit is a translucent yellow, which does look nice. It does not open. It does have some landing gear out, as you can see. And from the bottom, it's very compact. This is a very similar transformation from the deluxe version. It's basically identical. This is basically a scaled up version of that deluxe figure without the tattoos. So if that sounds good to you, then you will like this figure. If not, then this is going to be nothing too special. I will say that it's been almost like it's been a little bit of a, I like the figure. It's just, I feel like I already have it, because I do, the deluxe one is a great figure. I really loved it when it came out back for Dark of the Moon, which was in 2013, so it's been 5 years at this point. No, Dark of the Moon came out in 11, never mind. It's been, what has it been, 7 years. So I've had that figure forever, and I really like it. But, of course, deluxe isn't a great scale, so I am happy to have one that's now in a scale that more suits Starscream, which is Voyager, of course. But at the same time, it's so similar that it's like, it doesn't feel like anything new almost. So it's a bit of a disappointment in that regard. But I do like the aspects of it. I like the fact that they made it movie 1 Starscream, because we definitely don't have a good movie 1 Starscream. And then I do like that it's in the proper scale, of course. And he does come with a new weapon. And he does look very compact, and it's very mechanical pieces at the bottom. You don't see like arms or a head or anything like that, which is great. It really allows it to keep that essence of it just being a vehicle and not a robot. So yeah. Well, now we can get into the transformation of the item. Alright, to start transformation, I'm going to start with the arms here. What I do is just unplug the arms. Can just rotate them out like this. Just move it up, kind of just extend them out. So you push up the one side, pull it up and down, and there you can kind of get the arms going up a bit. You want to kind of break up some of the pieces where it is attached. As you can see, you can kind of raise this side and pop it like that. You can just raise it out and unattach it. One thing that is a benefit of this Transformer compared to the deluxe one is that a lot of the deluxe one's pieces just kind of were put there and then maybe tabbed in at one place. This one tabs in just about everywhere, which is nice, so it does feel a little bit more secure in that regard. Then you can just rotate the arms out. You want to make sure it's straight though when you rotate them. There you go. You can straighten the shoulders a bit. I'll get to that in a little bit. For the back piece here, you want to separate the boosters from, like, I guess these are like the knees, so you can kind of just, oh, here we go, separate them from here, this piece, to the rest of this. This flatten the little wings there, and then this will bend at a second place and just kind of fold up, essentially. There we go. Just like the deluxe one. If you have the deluxe one, it's the same thing, like I've been mentioning. The legs are nice. You just rotate them down. You can move the landing gear down, move the toes up, same thing. Alright, and then they split, rotate up, and then you can give them the chicken leg stance, of course, that Starscream in the movies is so famous for. These little sections, you want to rotate them out and then flip this piece up. This piece tends to break off on mine quite easily, but it's really only on this side, so I just think that it's a poor quality on that one little joint on my figure itself, so I would watch out for it though. And then this kind of can just click back here. You want to get this up high enough where you can peg in the back piece to it. So as you can see, there's a little triangle port there, and then there's a little triangle piece that comes out. So you want to line them up so that you can attach them. There we go. With this, you want to rotate up the landing gear. You want to rotate this little piece up, and then you can flip that little section up, revealing his head. Rotate his head out. There we go. Oh, you know what? I did mess up. You do need to have these out first so that you can rotate this down, and then you can collapse them back. There we go, just like that, and then plug them in just like that. Then you can just flip this little piece back up, and that's almost it. Put that piece up, want to take this down, rotate it, and then flip the hand out. The hand wrist like hinge is on a very strict joint, I have to say, which is nice. I mean, it's obviously not going to break then, but you do have to kind of pull a little bit. But there you go. Then you have Starscream fully transformed in his robot mode. Alright, so fully transformed, I have to say I do like the Starscream quite a bit. As far as his color scheme goes, he sticks with that creamy kind of gray look with some of the blue highlights. I do think that some of the blue highlights are a little too sectioned off, particularly like right here. He's just got like two pieces of blue. If it was like lightly shaded in here, or lightly sprayed in there, similar to the cockpit, that looks really nice. But when it's just like a section of blue, it looks odd. So that's something that I definitely am not a big fan of. But I do like some of the darker grays mixed in with the cream colors. You know, just I think that some of it is just too heavy-handed in the fact that it's like sectioned off. But overall, I like the colors that they did choose to go with. As you can see, he does have his weapon accessory, the rocket launcher that he uses, of course, at the Hoover Dam, which I do think looks very nice. It clips on very easily, just plugs in right here, and you just fold up the hand. The only issue I have with it is that the hand is very clearly a hand. Had the hand been the same color as the background piece, it would look fine. You know, wouldn't even notice it, but it's such a completely different color that it's really recognizable as the hand. So from certain angles and stuff, it looks great, but when you have it like this, it looks a little bit odd, I must say. So, but I do like the fact that it is included, and that's something that makes this figure quite new, considering none of the other Starscreams really have that. The leader class is the only one that does. His head sculpt is quite nice, though. I definitely like it. Let me get some good look at it. I do think that it looks very cool, like the red eyes, and overall does look nice. One thing that's nice about this figure is that he does have the capability to look up, which I think is very cool. That's something that the other ones don't really have. But you can get him crouched down a bit more then because of that, and get him in a more like spindly type of look, which is something that isn't super accurate from like the first Transformers movie, which this figure is based off of, but from the second and third, that's definitely more of a Starscream look, so I definitely like that quite a bit. But in the first movie, he very much stands up straight and everything. They didn't give him much of a personality until the sequel. But yeah, I do like the fact that you can do that. This little piece here is on a very, very flimsy hinge, like it's very loose, so this can easily fall down. That's something that's so different from the deluxe one, because the deluxe one has a really sturdy one here. It's like it's almost hard to pull it down because it's so stiff. So that is kind of disappointing, but it's nothing too bad. It's not going to fall off though, at least. But overall, I do like the way that he looks, and they did kind of fill in the chest a little bit better than the deluxe one. Give you a comparison with the deluxe, considering they are very similar figures in the way that they're executed. But yeah, I do very much like the fact that they've kind of filled in the section with these pieces. That's something that was not on the deluxe. The deluxe one is a little bit more loose, you know, kind of like see-through. And then the deluxe one has some brown bits, which just look awful. That's something that, of course, they didn't do for the Voyager one, which looks so much better. And this is a nice size Voyager. I'm definitely going to admit that. This is a good size Voyager. It's almost like a Human Alliance scale almost, because he's got a nice bulk to him, which I definitely like quite a bit. And he is a little hollow in the side sections, but it doesn't look too bad. the main core of him is solid, which I definitely like quite a bit. And his articulation is really nice in general. Of course, he is lacking the tattoos because it's based on movie 1, but I like that considering we have so many versions of him with tattoos. It's nice to get one that doesn't have it. But overall, his articulation is really nice. And again, with the deluxe one, you couldn't, the hand only hinged forward, and therefore if you wanted his hand to be facing him and to have any sort of elbow, he would need to bend way high, almost at the shoulder for his elbow. Otherwise, you'd have him like this, where he can bend more at an elbow level, but his hand would always be up straight like this. So I love the fact that now the wrists are on ball joints, so you do not have that issue with the deluxe or with the Voyager 1 at all. He has full range of motion, which is great. And then overall, his joints are pretty tight. If anything, one of the hinges at the knees is slightly looser. It's not bad, but it is slightly looser. This is pretty loose, and then the hinge right here, when it's not plugged in, this is pretty loose. So there's a few areas where it is a little loose, but for the most part, it's nice, sturdy and straight. Kind of combine those two, and overall, it does look very good, and it does compact very nicely. As you can see, not much kibble whatsoever. So overall, this is a really solid figure. I definitely like it quite a bit. I was able to get it for $25 at Comic-Con, the Phoenix one, so I was able to get it for a good price, and I'm loving this line in general. I definitely want to keep collecting it and buying more and more of the characters, and I wasn't planning on getting Prime, but now I am thinking that I'm probably going to pick them up too. So yeah, overall, really enjoying this figure. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the new Studio Series line in general and the Starscream figure in particular, and thanks so much for watching.